Yes, guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy David at the Irish Hotspur, Ireland's #1 Spurs fan, the world's biggest Harry Kane fan. And today we bring you another Tottenham roundtable. Again, another joke. Like I always say, it's not round, it is square. But look, we like anything in the shape of a table around here. And look, guys, we've a few things to get through today. Actually, a bit of a discussion with the Liverpool game coming up. Can we break our curse? Lots of rumours floating around the transfer market with potential replacements for Davies and who knows, maybe Dier. But, let's find out off the panel why we need to replace them and what exactly we should be looking for in their replacements. And then, will Conte actually stay here longer than his 18-month contract? Is he looking for a long-term project? Look, as we know today, he did jokingly say he gave his list to his transfer list to Daniel Levy and jokingly said it was a big one as well. So, look, a lot to get through today, and just some news as well. That Reguilon, it looks like he's set to miss the rest of the season as well, which is a big blow. Leaves us very short on the wing-back end. I mean, Emerson one side, Session the other side. We need absolute four worldies out of them. And we know with Session, these injuries just crop up. So can we even get the last 4 games out of them? Losing Reguilon is an absolute big blow. We're now down to 15 senior outfield players now for the remaining 4 games. And you've got Liverpool and Arsenal in them. So it's going to be a tight one. It's definitely going to be a tight one. And, of course, we are joined by Jack, who will actually be hosting today, Brian from Tottenham on tour, and Sean from Spurs Talk Show. Jack, we always like to make sure people are good. So how are you, my man?
Doing well, Dave, because, the way that you just set this all up gave me a bit of nerves. And so I'm actually quite glad that I'm hosting this and not maybe answering the questions because you set this stage up to be a bit more nervy than I expected. The Man City tears, Dave, certainly, adding to probably my, my joy right now. Pep Guardiola using probably the budget of an entire country's GDP on a football team still hasn't found a way to get a Champions League trophy under his belt. It's just good to see, Dave. It's good to see, but lots of good questions tonight. Incredible panel. Looking forward to it.
No, it should be an absolute good show. Hopefully, look, if you watch the last one, there's a lot of opinions flying around, which was very, very good, and that's what this is all about. And guys, just quickly, we will have everybody off before the West Ham game starts, so hopefully we can be sitting there with our cocktail sticks, popping the bubbles as they float by, and hopefully enjoy the Irons going out tonight and at the end of their season, hopefully. But Sean, how are you keeping, my man?
I'm good, mate. I'm glad to be back on this wonderful channel with these wonderful people, and I'm excited to talk Tottenham with you all. I've just realised I'm wearing it's not red, is it? It's maroon. So I should maybe change.
It's not a colour. That should be. It's open for people in the comments to have a go that way.
No one has yet, but I'm sure they will now that I pointed it out.
It's more of a Birmingham kind of villa kind of color, I would say. So you're teetering close to it. Sean, you're getting close. But not, not
and there's a bit
close.
of red going on up here as well. So I need to be more careful with my
playing with fire with that color. Playing with fire. That's what I'm saying. Everyone in the comments, don't be afraid to hammer him as well about wearing a burgundy sort of tiltering on red. I definitely see a bit of a red gloss coming off that. So don't be afraid.
I'm gonna go change. I'll be back in a minute.
And of course, Daigle, how are you keeping, my man?
Yeah, I'm keeping good, buddy. I'm keeping good. Just looking forward to Brad Matthews getting out here in a couple of weeks. I get to show Brad Matthews all around Toronto, and then a week or so after that, I'm back home in London. So plenty to look forward to.
You back over for Benji's wedding, is it?
I am indeed, and also it's my birthday and 8th wedding anniversary on the 22nd. So it'd be good to be with the nephews and niece and family on my side for a change. So looking
is the missus coming this time?
She is indeed.
Okay.
She has to. Daigle won't go home. She has to come this time.
Most definitely.
Nice.
But no, looking forward to seeing you. You might just see me over there, Daigle. You might just see me over there for that, my man.
Come on.
Look, everyone on the panel is fine. As you can see, full of laughter, big smiles, and that's what we want on this fine Thursday evening. But look, let's see who is in the chat as well. We've got Wembley 1. He says, good evening, gents. If Liverpool had lost to Villarreal, we'd have 0 chance on Saturday. We have to flood that midfield and get Kane to pull Van Dijk out of position. Also, I'd love Diaz to be sent into Rose. Said, look, I will be asking this on the pre-match build-up. what way should we approach the game? I mean, should we look to sit there? Should we look to keep it tight and look to keep it scoreless? The longer the game goes on, Liverpool will have to commit men forward, chase the game because they need to win in order to keep this quadruple on. And then hopefully count on there being a lot of open gaps for the last 20 minutes and hoping to exploit them. Or do we approach it the way Villarreal did? Just get at them and kick the living shit out of them. I mean, who knows? But look, we will decide that on Saturday in the pre-match build-up, Wembley. But look, that Diaz guy, he's a very good player. He's very tidy. I wouldn't mind seeing Romero, exactly put him into Rose head. And look, it'd be interesting to see whether Kane can pull Van Dijk out. But I just think if Kane does drop deep, I think Van Dijk is experienced enough to pass him on to one of the midfielders, to be honest with you. But look, we'll wait and see what happens, Wembley. But big yourself up. Dermot says, ladies and gentlemen, it's the main event of the evening, live from Kildare, Ireland, with hundreds watching and thousands worldwide. There's one thing left to say. Let's get this Tottenham party started. Big up, my man. In the green and gold corner, he's the biggest Spurs fan and Irish fan from Kildare, Ireland. He is the one and only main boss man, David Harry Kane, Irish Hotspur Harris. Hashtag, come on, you Harris Army. Big up, Dermot. Love that. Spurs TV's in the house. Big up. Guys, we shall win at Anfield, in Anfield over Liverpool. I really do hope so. Look, we do not have a good record there. I sure do hope so. Dermot says, in the red and blue corner, he's live from the Big Apple, Brooklyn, New York. You want stats? He is your man. So here he is, Jack, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Statsman Kaneki. Come on, you flat cap army. Dermot, what did I tell you about Star Wars references? It's shit, lad. No Star Wars, no Star Trek, none of that, lad. None of that. I told you about that, but I appreciate the effort. But next time we gotta do something better than that. We don't like Star Wars or Star Trek here, my man. We don't.
Just deciding for everyone there, Dave.
The regular says, let's get the win on Sunday. Come on, you Spurs. I really do hope so, the regular. Big yourself up, brother. Catalona Pena says, the players need to listen to Conte if they want to win. No other way. Well, look, Conte did say, we've got to go out there and not play with any pressure and enjoy the pressure. Big up, KVP. Hope you're keeping well, my man. Big yourself up. And Okina Bahiri, I'm just going to call you Annette. It's a lot easier. Says it's all about defense and the dark arts on Saturday. Exactly. Shit house, my man. Absolute shit house.
Great comment.
Sue Smith, big up. Hope you're keeping well. It's good to see you in, Sue. Great to see you in. I hope you're keeping well. Annette is getting super excited, saying, let's go. Big up, my man. We've got Welsh Gal. Good to see you in the building. Evening, lads. Man City last night. Let's hope Frankfurt turn West Ham into Wiener Schnitzel. Big up the Harris Army and big up the Flat Cap Army. Look, I was absolutely buzzing. I mean, look, he took off De Bruyne. Who else did he take off? Took off some other fancy dancy and, brought on players thinking the game is over. And then Madrid turned up. And then, the longer the game was going, the higher sleeves, the sleeves on that turtleneck was going up, Jack. Pep Guardiola's turtleneck. Honestly, it was nearly a vest by the end of the game. It was ridiculous. I think he was trying to tan his hands the same way he tans that bald head. Absolutely delighted he's gone. Absolutely delighted.
Yeah, Dave, that's what I was going to say. The only decision probably Guardiola made right on the evening was probably the choice of the turtleneck. But even then, he started, second guessing that choice because he started, messing with the sleeves, like you said, Dave. I mean, he just started second guessing himself entirely, cracking under the pressure. Even the turtleneck was. Yeah,
no, it definitely was. I was absolutely delighted for him. I was delighted. He screwed it up once again. Dan N says these next two games are the season are the most important period. If we win both, we'll get top four. If we don't, we likely won't. Spot on, absolutely spot on. Sue Smith just popped in to say hello. Have both grandkids here, so it's pretty hectic. We'll listen and pop in now and then. Well, big up to the two grandkids. Make sure you give your granny an easy time. Big up. Andy Mitch says upgrade both Dier and Davies. De Ligt and Gvardiol should be our main targets, both young and top class already. Well, I did see links to Gvardiol over all this week, to be honest with you. He is high on Spurs radar, so we'll have to wait and see, Andy. Rob Ragnarsson is in the house. Come on, you Spurs. Big up, my man. Good to see you.
Yeah.
King Huddle as well, good to see you. Evening, boys. To beat Liverpool, we will have to find ways to evade their press and be brave in possession. Remaining in the game as long as possible is crucial, as they will regard it a must-win game. 100% they're going to go for it. They have to win. They have to win, King Huddle. It'd just be interesting to see what sort of plan Conte has, because he did put out, he did say that, Tottenham have to be on it defensively and keep it tight. But then he also said, but we also have to do good going forward. So he hasn't even alluded to what the game plan is, to be honest with you. I think he's just keeping everybody guessing. Dermot with the big super chat. Big up, my man. Really appreciate it. And the two guests, one has the best catchphrase on YouTube, is the one and only Sean. It's game day, Butler. Ladies and gentlemen, he's the king of Canada. He is the one and only Brian. Levy out, Daigle. Come on, you Spurs. Did I do that? Did I do your catchphrase?
You did it justice, David. It's like you've been in training and watching me. It was lovely.
I had the hula hoops on.
Is it? Wait a minute.
Beef flavor.
Is it a wait a minute? Is this a raise or is it a flick? Is it like a flick or is it a raise? Do you flick it like this or is it a raise? It's a raise. Yeah, that's a lot tougher. I feel like you should turn it into a
How many
flick,
reps
Brian.
are you doing? How many reps are you actually doing there? You got to do some 3 sets of 10. Is it 5 sets of 6? What is it?
The longer
He
and
puts
longer
on like
charge,
rings.
it gets more and more, Sean. I'm on about 1,000 at the moment every morning.
Nice.
Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays are hula hoops, and Tuesdays and Thursdays are jelly rings. So they
your other like what is it? I mean, 6 fingers and 2 thumbs are sitting there going, when do we get some love? When do we get some flicks?
The other fingers are skinny, and these two are just absolutely bulging with muscle.
Index day every day. Index day every day.
I love it. I love it. Big up,
never neglect ring day.
He doesn't take a day off. He doesn't take a day off.
You gotta be.
Big up, Dermot. Really appreciate the support, man. Really appreciate it. Big yourself
Really
up.
generous, Dermot.
Bobby K is in the building. Big up, Bobby K. Big up the 3 flat cap models and Brian Daigle. Need to get Daigle a flat cap. Of course, a big hello to everyone in the chat. Come on, you Spurs.
Then we can get
Yeah,
him
we're
in the
gonna have to
catalog.
start GoFundMe and get Daigle a flat cap. GoFundMe. We'll have to get one for all the YouTube creators. So we do GoFundMe for everybody.
Like a calendar or a catalog, and they're all in flat caps, different poses. Looking forward to it. Maybe Daigle the month of May, right towards the end of the season. That'd be nice.
I love it. But look, we'll take a few more comments and then we will get into it. Paddy Harnett says, I heard a rumor that Brian was spotted on Joe Lewis's yacht with Daniel Levy sipping wine and laughing. Can he confirm or deny the rumors?
I can definitely deny them because I won't be sipping wine because I've been 14 years sober, or almost 14 years, which is a lie. And believe me, if I was on that yacht, Paddy, I would not be laughing with them. I'd only be laughing that I'd thrown them overboard or got them to sign the club over to me. So, yeah, definitely I can confirm that they are, or I can categorically deny those rumours.
I think he'd be in a wetsuit, like in the first Jason Bourne movie, he'd be, trying to sneak onto that yacht, and planning the assassination. Big up.
You might have seen Brian climbing up the side of it. All right, Paddy, for sure.
Exactly.
That's possible, but I won't deny or confirm
full
that.
scuba gear.
I love it. Jimmy Costco says, big game for Kulu to show that he was the best signing in January. Absolutely, my man. Absolutely spot on. Ricky Nato, evening, brothers. We need to attack Liverpool and get there into their faces from the start and close the wing backs down from crossing the ball into the box. Dier needs to up his game. Come on, you Spurs. Fully agree with all of that. Big up, Ricky. Good to see you in. Amir Sadar, what a panel we have tonight. Top class. Come on, you Spurs. Look, we only try to deliver the best panel we can for you guys. That's all we try to do. I'm glad you enjoy it, Amir. Hope you're keeping well, my man. Scott Hydenham's in the building. Big up, Flat Cap crew. And come on, you Spurs. Big up, Scotty. Hope you're keeping well. Wind Rider says 5 points behind Arsenal before London Derby. Sorry to say that. No, come on. Half glass full. Look, it could be that case, but we'll just wait and see how it pans out. Soft says, afternoon, gentlemen. I heard Conte say his shopping list in the summer will be very, very long. Let's hope Levy backs him 100%. He's got to back him this summer. If not, we're only going to go one way. Big yourself up, Soft. Paddy Higgins, big up, Flat Caps. Upgrade on Dier and Davies. Big yourself up, my man. Sean Apoyo's in the house. We got this. Absolutely love it. Ron Vignac, Sun Tree, Liverpool 1. Big yourself up. And we've got Mark New. Big yourselves up, lads. Spurs to come good 3-1 to break the Anfield curse. We always raise our game against the big clubs. Come on, you Spurs. Come on, you Harris Army. In Conte, we trust. Look, I did see a stat that it's like they took all the results and everything else and the probabilities of Tottenham winning. I think it was like 8 or 9%. So it's not very high whatsoever. So we really are up against it. But look, that's when Tottenham usually turn up, when no one expects us to get a result. But big up, Mark. Really appreciate the support. But look, guys, we are going to get into the questions. We're going to get Sean and Daigle start involved here now. Guys, make sure you smash that like button. Should be the first thing you do. It's like wiping your feet coming into a house. Should be the very first thing you do. Smash that like button. If you are new, smash that subscribe button. Throughout, you will see a link for Spurs Talk Show, Tottenham on Tour, and the Flat Cap Euro Talk being put into the chat. Just quietly get over there, smash that subscribe, and come back. Jack, look, summer transfer window's coming up. That's why you need to go there. Sean's very, very close to 1K, 6 away. Let's see if we can get it done today. And then we also have Daigle on. And guys, Tottenham on Tour, always looking for subscribers so Daigle can spread his message. Big push for 5K on over there. So get over there. And also, guys, feel free at any time to stop us and skip the queue with a super chat. It is a massive help to everything we do here, and it always leads to great talking points, great discussions, and genuinely a lot of times a good laugh with myself and the panel as well, and we will engage with the comment 100%, so don't be afraid to get them in. We've got a new feature today called Super Thanks. Not sure what it is, so if anyone feels like they want something new to spark something in their life today, click that Super Thanks and let's see what it does. Let's experience it together. And look, guys, memberships as
High
well.
roller.
Yeah, exactly. If there's any high rollers out there, don't be afraid to do it. Let's see what it does. Might see balloons or something, who knows. But look, as well, don't be afraid to get them super chats in. Over 6,000 subscribers. If everyone grabbed a channel membership, me and Jack are set to be able to do this every single season. Your boys all season, every season. If that's what you want, grab that membership. But look, Jacko, over to you now, my man. Let's go. Let's get ready to rumble.
Let's get ready to rumble. Let's talk maybe about this Anfield result that's going to be coming up with this Anfield fixture. This Saturday, Brian, Spurs go to Anfield in hope of at least a point in order to keep pressure on Arsenal in the hunt for top four. Anfield historically has been a very difficult, if not cursed, place for Spurs to grab points. However, this time it's the end of the season and Liverpool need all 3 points to keep the pressure on City. Klopp even admitted that they do need the 3 points, and Spurs' strength and sitting deep and countering their opponents is not a good mix for this game. Do you think there's a better chance than ever maybe to break the curse here, Brian?
That's such a tough... No. I'm going to say no because then I can be pleasantly surprised if it does happen.
A positive way to start the show.
Yeah,
maybe I'll phrase it. I agree. No, because it is a cursed place, Brian. Maybe the question is to phrase it a better way. Are all the ingredients maybe there for it to be a better opportunity, let's say? Or is there a better chance than maybe there was before? Is the momentum maybe helping us a bit here? Is the situation, it being the end of the season and, Liverpool needing 3 points, they're going to need to, kind of expose the defense a bit. Do you think maybe there's a better opportunity to grab maybe points than there were other times?
That may be a better way of asking it. Listen, as people know, I will talk for real and I will talk how I see it. Look, they're going for the quadruple. They've just got through to the Champions League final, which the crowd are going to be absolutely pumped about and singing and celebrating. And trust me, from my many years of going to grounds, that place when it's rocking is probably one of the, if not the hardest place to go to.
Yeah,
in the whole of England. And forget our record, that place is an absolute cauldron of noise when that place is rocking. The stats, like you said, I think it's 76 league games. We've won 6 or 8. But let's just hope. Look, the last time I remember it being like this is when we knocked them out of the FA Cup and Jurgen Klinsmann scored in the last couple of minutes to deflate them. There's also that time with Rafa van der Vaart, but that's when they were going nowhere. This Liverpool team is an absolute juggernaut, and it's going to be very, very, very hard. Very, very hard. Well, I think the most important thing, and it's just don't concede early. Yeah. If we concede early, then that could be a huge problem. The most important thing to me is if we do lose, we don't take a Tonkin, because if we take a Tonkin, that goal difference that we worked so hard to build up, then it just gets wiped away. But on the other hand, with the filth going, or the Leeds going to the filth, you look at it the way with our record, I remember it back in the day when Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank twice as a lead striker stopped them winning the league. I also remember that Mark Viduka doing it when Leeds were almost getting relegated, which they are right now. So you know, as hard as this game may be, I don't think Arsenal think they've got it easy with Leeds, and I don't think they do. That's why I think a draw is essential. Like, if we get a draw, I'll be delighted, because honestly, I have a feeling Leeds are going to get something at Arsenal, and then obviously it comes down to the NLD. So as hard as it may be for us, I think our Arsenal got it just as hard.
Yeah. I like that, actually. Interesting answer there, especially, when phrased maybe in a better way. Sean, maybe with the other way that I phrased it there, is it maybe set up in a better way for maybe Spurs to actually perhaps break the curse? Do you think, it's all, kind of aligned maybe in a certain way? The script is maybe written better for Spurs to get a result here.
Yeah, I'm going to believe, like, the stats obviously write a certain tale, but Tottenham, Davies already said it. When Tottenham are least expected to show up and do something, we surprise to the upside. The formation, the fact that Liverpool need to win, that's going to suit us. They're going to bombard us, and it's going to be absolutely crucial that we, that we hang tight in the first 20 minutes. 4-5-1, but when we can break faster. Liverpool are not going to do anything other than play their game. So Tottenham can, with this team have never lost at Anfield. This manager managing this team has never lost at Liverpool. So the stats might be about Tottenham, but this Tottenham hasn't been a victim of those previous failures. So there's always a way that you can look at it slightly differently. And I do think that I actually said in my show this morning, previously I said, a draw doesn't really suit us. I mean, because of what Arsenal are likely to do. So we might as well go for it. But actually, I've really thought about it and think that actually a draw would be a fantastic result, because if we get a draw and Leeds win, I won't go through the whole rationale, but essentially it means that in all likelihood, we don't need Arsenal to have to lose. We just need them to drop points against one team, right? Against Newcastle or Everton, not both. And so I think that a win is going to be a tough ask, but I think a draw is absolutely on the cards. I think it'll be a brilliant game. It'll be one of the best games of the season. As long as Tottenham show up, and I think you're going to see the best version of Tottenham, then there's no reason why Tottenham can't, go and surprise everybody. I spoke to my friend today, who's the biggest Liverpool fan, who's not from Liverpool, you'll ever likely to meet. He knows everything about the club inside and out, and he is petrified of Sunday. He thinks that Tottenham are going to be a massive struggle, like a massive challenge for them. He's obviously still backing his team, but he thinks that Tottenham are more than capable of getting a draw, and that builds confidence in me. So I'm like Bob Spur in the chat. I think that Tottenham can do it. We have to believe. We have to send positive vibes that way, and then we have to hope that all of our big guns show up fully armored, and that there's no the gun doesn't, misfire or whatever it is on the day. Everyone has to be playing their best. And if they do, I think we're capable of getting a good result. So I'm confident.
Yeah. I kind of just feel like, Sean, if you ask me, I feel like if I really go into these really not having a lot of hope, probably Liverpool out of any team in the Premier League, I probably have the least hope, but it just feels like it's sort of more written in the stars. Maybe this sort of time around, it's maybe more set up better for us to have the possibility of getting a result. I don't really have full confidence that we will, but maybe what I'm trying to argue here is that I could have a bit more confidence than maybe other times before. I feel like we could come up with more reasons for how we could envision Spurs getting a result, where other times, like us coming up with ways to envision Spurs getting a result is, pretty much almost impossible. Where this time it feels like you could actually come up with some reasons, to see Spurs getting a result this time.
Yep. Yeah.
But Dave, what do you think of Klopp's, kind of quotes? Do you think he's right? It's not a good mix, Liverpool needing 3 points, the way that Spurs kind of sit deep and, counterattack teams with that, deadly, kind of efficiency. Do you feel like he's right? Do you agree with what he said there? It's just not a good mix for Liverpool.
I'm not sure. Look, I'm not so much sure about the counterattacking, but it's not a good mix for Liverpool. Look, a lot of my friends are Liverpool fans, and they've all been nervous about this one. They know what's coming. They know we're going to get revenge for the Champions League final. They can feel it. They're going on about this great quadruple side and everything else. But now tomorrow's time to soak up that pain and that hurt from the Champions League final, Saturday, and just unleash it on them. look, whether we counter-attack or whether we go at them, I don't think it really makes a difference. At the end of the day, Liverpool play a high line and you will get chances no matter what way you go about the game. And look, I suppose what Jurgen Klopp was more afraid of is our front three. I mean, colours, you look at Sonny, he's going into the game chasing Mo Salah for the golden boot as a chance to net his 20th of the season. We keep Salah quiet and Son can bag one or two, who had a lot of chances in the first game when we drew against them, so he'll be raring to go. You have Kulusevski, I think, three goals, 10 assists or something like that since he's been here. You know, it came off the bench. I'm sure he'll have a point to prove up at Anfield. And you've got Harry Kane, and this guy, Jack, he's got, I think he's got 9 goals and 7 assists or something against Liverpool in 15 appearances. And he has a good record up at Anfield as well. So there's definitely a chance that we can get at this Liverpool team. He's been poor to treat last 3 games. I'm sure he'll want to turn up at Anfield. So our front three definitely has the ability to cause the problems. I'm not worried about our front three. I'm not really too worried about our midfield, to be honest with you. What I'm more worried about is our back line. How can that hold up? Look, these Liverpool players, they're like Duracell buddies. They'll run in behind you, run at you, run in front of you. Our players have to be switched on and cope with it. But when we are on the ball and we are trying to play from the back, can't have any of this not being on your toes, not ready to receive the ball, under-hitting passes, over-hitting passes. When the ball's coming to you, taking a touch and it's going 10 yards in front of you, you cannot afford to do that against Liverpool around the back. We've done that over the last couple of games, and it hasn't been as costly. But against Liverpool, that ball will be put in the back of the net within a split second. It cannot happen. Look, we're up against it. Liverpool are unbeaten in 21 Premier League home games. They've scored 52 goals in them games and only conceded 9. So Anfield is a fortress. We're up against 14 men. It's going up by a bit more people I find, Jack. The other day it was 12. Now it's 14. You're going up against 11 men from Liverpool. You're going up against VAR. You're going up against the referee. And you're going up against this bloody mentality monster that Klopp is talking about. So, you're going up against it going into Anfield. Another record, Sadio Mane. He's when he scores at home, Liverpool do not leave. He scored 49 goals at home, and they've won all 49. They've won all the games. So if Mane scores, you can guarantee that they'll win. Alisson has had an unbelievable season for Liverpool. He's kept 20 clean sheets so far this season. You know, he's amongst some of the highest in the Premier League ever with Peter Cech, Van der Sar. You know, so all round, the stats are pointing to a Liverpool win.
David, can I add another stat there as well? Virgil van Dijk has not lost a Premier League game at Anfield.
Yeah.
When they lost last season, he was out injured.
Yeah.
He has not lost a Premier League game at home.
But at Anfield last season, when Liverpool won it in the last minute, we were well worthy of at least a draw in that game, and that was on the Mourinho. But we should have won the game. We just didn't take our chances. At Tottenham this season, we were 2-2, but we should have won 6-3 if all the chances were taken. Like, we are capable. We are more than capable, and Tottenham's side has never been as good as it is right now. When we drew with them 2-2, we didn't have Bentancur, we didn't have Kulusevski, right? We didn't have Sonny banging the goals in. We didn't have Harry Kane just about to turn the corner again. Come on, we can do it. We can do it.
I love it, Sean. And actually, maybe the story here as well. Maybe, and we'll let David keep going there. But the story as well is that we've actually been more unlucky than we've really gotten battered by Liverpool. It's not really like there's been a huge history of us, just being absolutely destroyed. It's us, conceding 90th minute, 89th minute, just absolute deflators. But yeah, continue, Dave. Sorry.
Yeah, no, just like Ben was saying on the podcast the other day, a quick plug for that. The Tottenham Hour over on We Are Tottenham TV, that when we've lost at Anfield, like you said, Jack, it's all been sort of last minute stuff, us switching off, allowing Liverpool, to be able to grab an equaliser or grab a winner. But this game is the second highest scoring fixture in Premier League history. So there will be goals this weekend. And I fancy us to play our part. And I think, and I've said this before, when we go up to these teams, we're unbeaten against the top two, beating City twice, drawn at Liverpool earlier on in the season. There's no reason why we can't go up to Anfield and grab a result. A draw for me, even if Leeds win, will be a decent result for us. A win, even better. But regardless, we need to come out of it with a result. Even if we lose, look, it's not over. But when the odds is always stacked against Tottenham, we turn up. And that's what I'm counting on this weekend. Unbeaten against the top two, baby. I don't make the stats. Premier League and Tottenham do, so.
There you are, Dave.
Well
there
said,
you are.
Dave. Well
Moondog in the house. Moondog in the house saying, good afternoon, y'all. I'm in no doubt that we are going to win. And of course, my Dier bet will be on. Come on, you Spurs. He actually did do the Dier bet last week, I believe, Sean. And so maybe he's going for it this time.
Someone told me that Moondog was pulling back from his £5 bets. Is that
he
true,
didn't do it
Moondog?
last time
Say
around.
it ain't so.
I think he took a break. He took a break. He
put one on Romero last week as well. I
don't
think.
do it, bro. The second that maybe the second time that you don't put the bet on Dier is the time.
Maybe it's like restarting, it's like just restarting, the Eric Dier. It's like turning Eric Dier off and on, maybe that's what
the universe has got a funny way of punching you in the face when you've been looking for something your whole life and then it doesn't, and then you finally stop looking, it finds its way to happen. So, well, maybe you know what? Maybe for the benefit of Tottenham, maybe you shouldn't put a bet on Eric Dier this weekend, and then Tottenham can get a goal. And you know what? If that happens, if you don't put the bet on, then I'll pay you the 50. I'll give you the 50 quid if Eric Dier scores anyway, mate. There you go.
If Moondog doesn't put on the bet, Eric Dier will wrap 35-yard free kick in. Guaranteed.
Yeah. And I'm happy for that to happen. So Moondog, forget your bet. If it happens, I'll give you the money, bro. Okay.
Brian, if Moonboots were to score just quickly, how would it happen? Free kick, maybe header, own goal, as well,
I think it'd be a free kick in all honesty. I think it'll be a free kick. He's shown recently, unfortunately, he seems to be the best set piece person at the club. Although you've been starting training shows that he's picking them in. But he never ever takes them. He takes the corners, but not the free kicks. But if Dier was to score, I can either see it only being a free kick or like that daisy cutter he scored in the 4-1 win against Man City a few years ago when he was playing in midfield. We're just outside the area and he just daisy cutted it along the grass. But yeah, I think if Dier scored, it's a free kick.
Yeah, there you go. I kind of agree.
And Jack Moondog was asking earlier on, did you get your parcel yet?
I have not. I still have not. Been checking every day. It's very,
Moondog,
very unfortunate.
Keep the bet on. Dier will nick one. He's going to score for you before the end of the season. I have the faith. I have belief in my man. He will. But big up, Moondog. Really appreciate the support.
Like I said, maybe taking that break from it, maybe it's just going to reset the whole system, Moondog, and he'll start scoring at will. Dark Sun G saying, we need to beat Liverpool for the perfect revenge for the Champions League final. We are the team that breaks streaks. We need to be clinical. Ruin their chance for first. I really loved how Dark Sun G has spoken about this. Actually, this long winding been kind of vengeance. It's all been kind of cooking to this moment. Liverpool, they think that we've kind of been their friend. We've given them the results that they've needed, only for it to just come around to basically ruin their entire hopes of getting that quadruple. The quadruple should never be won by any team. I think, like Michael said the other day on the fan show, and so hopefully Spurs can be that kind of that vanguard against that thing that we don't want to see happen.
Jack, revenge has been on the hot pot for the last year and a half. It's been sat there on super low heat, just sizzling away, just slow cooking. It's going to fall off the bone.
You can pull it apart. It's pull off the bone sort of vengeance. It's pull off the bone sort of vengeance. Looking forward to it. But as well, Dark Sun G, I mean, Karen Klopp, especially if we were to give him that sort of, punishment and that sort of revenge, I can't wait to see the Karen Klopp press conference afterwards. But Dark Sun G, absolutely looking forward to it. And it's absolutely huge as well. He also says we have Romero, Bentancur, and Kulu firing Son and Kane this time around. Also, if we can focus on Jota and Thiago, who are rash and get yellows, we can get them a red card. That's actually interesting. Thiago, I don't even know. I guess Thiago sometimes does, occasionally get an early yellow card, in certain situations. Jota, I didn't actually notice that about him, maybe because he's just pressing so much that he ends up getting, that early yellow card. To be honest, I actually wish that whole front three got more cards because I feel like they get away with a lot, if you ask me. Sometimes they do put some pretty harsh challenges on players, but I think it's like the referees have gotten used to the way that Liverpool, press teams, and they kind of just let a lot of that slide. So Dark Sun G, I hope we have one of the most sensitive refs for this one, especially maybe for the Spurs case as well, my man. But
Jack, you say that. What you got to remember as well is Liverpool will be saying exactly the same thing about Romero. They will be saying exactly the same thing, and seeing that it may be, let's say Diaz going against Emerson, and we know that Romero shifts wide. We do not need Romero getting wound up because he is just as likely as these two above. So it works both ways, but it's completely right. These people are gettable, but just we got to remember. I know Romero's cleaned his act up a hell of a lot recently. But if he's going up against the pace of Diaz and he mistimes a tackle or whatever, that could be a very quick yellow card. Then he's got to be very, very careful, because the one thing we cannot do is have him getting a red card or 2 yellows and then out for the rest of the season if it's a red or miss the NLD, because then we're in big trouble.
Even though getting an early yellow card is like putting a muzzle, on Romero as well. It's just you don't get, the full impact, of him as well. So I completely agree there, Brian. Anybody get a red card? I think it could be Robertson again. I can see that happening. To be fair, it seems like he has it in him. Maybe if Fabinho red, I could also see, potentially happening. But those would be the 2 I see, Dark Sun G.
Dark Sun G, I just want to say to you quickly, my man, I seen a stat. I'm not sure whether it was Liverpool get more penalties against Tottenham than they do any other team or something like that. But if you could find out what it was for me, that would be absolutely brilliant. I'm sure you have it logged somewhere on your computer. But again, it just goes to show the extent of how much VAR helped them and why I always bang on about it and why I call them Liverpool.
Big up. Debato Duda in the house saying legendary panel. This is the first time I haven't seen Debato Duda just wax lyrical, in the super chat, being very, very generous here. But all he's saying is just legendary panel. Debato Duda, very, very kind, my man. And I must say as well, if you haven't checked it out, the Seko Fofana one is out there. I believe you might have requested Debato Duda, might have been someone else as well, potentially. But the Seko Fofana is out on the other channel, my man. So hopefully you can check it out after this one. But Dave, anything to say to Bottom Duda? Generous as always.
No, look, really appreciate the support, my man. Look, no matter how big or how small it is, every content creator relies and needs on it. Look, barely any of us, none of us actually have any of these big wigs behind us. We all do it off our own back, put our own time and create everything else into it and pay for things to be able to bring stuff to you guys. So it's a massive help for any Spurs content creator out there. So really appreciate it, the Bottom Duda, top man, legend.
Appreciate you, Bottom Dude. And honestly, he's been our designated Serie A expert as well at the Harris Army. Honestly, adds so much to, especially the Antonio Conte related conversation. So to Bottom Dude, very thankful for you, brother. Really do appreciate it as well. Philip Brady saying no one gave us a hope against City. No one is giving us a chance on Saturday. So let's get payback for that Champions League final. Spurs to win 2-1. Philip, spot on, my man. And especially maybe Philip Brady, though, Dave, he's actually away from, the fraud sports and kind of all that sort of content. So maybe Philip Brady's actually, just hanging out on, honestly, probably similar, hanging out on a yacht or hanging out on the beach somewhere, with a nice flower in the drink and everything, Dave. And, just doesn't have to think about, the BT and fraud sports pundits anymore. He's probably at, absolute bliss.
No, Mr. Brady's away on vacation. He's enjoying him and the missus swanning around in Spurs gear. I absolutely love that. Just chilling out, having a good time. So hopefully now he doesn't have to watch fraud sports this weekend, can actually have a beer and just sit back and enjoy the commentary to the game. But look, Philip, nobody is given a chance. Everybody is writing us off. And look, I'm one of these people where the higher you stack the chips, the more I believe. The more I just believe. The higher you make that wall, the more I want to climb it. It's that easy, my man. And look, Champions League hurt me. There's been other games down the years with Liverpool that have hurt me. And you best believe if we win, I might shed a tear, but I might also have to end it early because I've got a few doors I need to knock on. And I will be there, believe it or not. And people, you know who you are. Time to time you tune into my content. Just make sure you don't have last-minute plans when I'm on my way around. Please. Thank you.
Big up, Philip Brady. And I must say, let me know. Let me know what it's like, to be away from the fraud sports. Hopefully, Dave, like I said, he must be running out of material, actually. Philip might actually be secretly missing it, to a degree. Because it keeps him, it keeps, his material going. But
if we win, if we win, I know Philip, Philip's not a big drinker whatsoever, but Philip, if we do win, treat yourself to a whiskey on the rocks, my man. Treat yourself to it because, look, as you know, Philip, victories at Anfield don't come around too often, so we got to enjoy it.
Big up, Philip. Really appreciate it as well.
Can I just say, I've just checked Sean's channel. He is 1 subscriber away from 1,000.
Oh, wow. Really?
One.
Wow.
Who's the special one left?
One person who has not hit that subscribe button.
Thank you to everyone else who has already. The last 4 or 5 people that came on. It's amazing, man. Thank you. I'm
just one away.
touched. I'm blessed. Thank you, guys. It's amazing.
Come on, brilliant. That's brilliant. I've been dropping all channel links into the chat, guys. So just get on each of them if you haven't and smash that subscribe button. Big up,
love
everyone.
that.
Just
big
up,
up.
big up, everyone.
As well. It's going to be happening. It's definitely happening midstream. Just wanted to say special shout out to Chris Agambar. I think we did do that one, Dave. Because we're talking about the red cards and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Chris Agambar, massive shout out. I believe someone else I just wanted to say.
Danny Kiriakou popped in. Dan Coy's.
Danny Kiriakou popped in.
Danny Kiriakou. Mr. Bunny
SOF as well.
No trademark, no copyright of that song. It's not just John McAfee. I had to say that.
Yeah, but you can sing it in a different pitch. It's Danny Kiriakou. And then it's not copywritten.
Listen, here I am trying to get you to 1,000 and you're doing copyright infringements. Jesus Christ. You're on 1K.
Big up Ronan as
You're
well.
on 1K.
Have I got there, mate?
Come on!
Yeah, buddy!
Everyone, congrats Shawnee in the chat on his 1K. Big up, my man. Absolutely love it.
That's awesome. Thank you guys so much. Honestly, it's it's in no small part because of you guys on the channel. Irish Hotspurs, like the mothership for me, and obviously Brian Daigle being on with you guys on Tottenham on Toy. I love everyone. There's so many channels. I won't thank everybody.
You can
I
do
that
your
on my
own
own
video
show.
after that. You can do
I'll do
your
that
own
afterwards.
video after.
But for everyone that's watching right now, thank you, everyone. It's amazing. It's been awesome. It's been an awesome 5 months being a part of a new community, and I love it. I've fallen in love with talking Tottenham with you guys. It's awesome.
I'm absolutely buzzing for you, brother. I'm absolutely buzzing. And there's 158 in the house right now as well. Everyone keep smashing that like. Let's just give a quick plow through the chat. Let's welcome in some people. We've got Dan Coyce, big yourself up, brother. Mark New, Bobby K, big yourselves up. Who else have we got? We still got Bob Spur in the house. Big up. 24C. Blade has come to join us. Joseph Tyler, big up, my man. Good to see you. John O71, great to see you in the building. Hope you're keeping well. Just make sure we haven't missed anybody here whatsoever. Some new people coming in. Big up, Ronan O'Donnell. Good to see you in the building. Hope you're keeping well. We've got Mako 80. We've got Ian Ferguson. We've got Keisha Georgina. Big yourself up. Good to see you in the building. Son over Salah as well. Absolutely love that. Good to see everybody. Good to see everyone. Look, let's keep cracking on. We've got to get off early so Sean can make that video. He's dying for it.
Definitely. And also just wanted to say, Moondog, I'll take a look at the email, my man. I've been looking for it. Maybe it was sent a bit more recently. I'll take a look at it. And also Dan Coyce as well. I believe he's been a member the whole time. Maybe he upgraded the membership or something. But Dan, really do appreciate it as well. Really do appreciate the support.
Big up. Big up, Dan. Absolutely appreciate it.
And Moondog saying Sean has 1 subscriber. Bugsy has 999. Well done, mate. Probably my favorite pundit actually on that channel, to be fair. Probably actually has the more, level-headed opinions maybe on the Spurs blog.
Moondog, you'll have to make Sean some of the old classics here. Some of the old classics, so you will. I'll have to make Sean something for his 1K. Big up, Moondog.
I'll send you a picture of Bugsy.
Email me, Moondog, because I'm thinking about putting up a merch store next season for flat caps and that, if anybody wants them. And maybe you could put these up for you. Who knows, my man? But big up, Moondog.
Love it, Moondog. Really do appreciate it as well. But I kind of agree. Bugsy is probably secretly, kind of the cult hero of that fan channel.
100% she is. Probably 100%. It's all about Bugsy. Cheeky.
But let's get into some tactics, everybody. And maybe might as well, with the 1,000 subscribers, Sean's probably coursing, with maybe the tactical energy right now, I imagine. Lots of rumors are suggesting that Spurs' big money signing this summer will be a left-sided center back. Why do you think it's the left-sided center back, Sean, that needs maybe the most expensive upgrade?
Because I feel like, I think just on paper, I think Eric Dier is a better centre back in a 3 than Ben Davies is. And I also think that, in a more accomplished squad that plays a 3-4-3 with 2 swashbuckling, left wing backs and right wing backs next season, if we can get the players we want in those positions, then I guess if there's going to be any weakness, it's going to be coming down when those players are a little bit more forward thinking, then there's going to be a little bit more space down in behind. And so I feel like you need to have a really super strong back 3 regardless, but I think you need to have a super strong kind of the 2 pivots of the back 3. So I think that it makes sense if you're going to invest in either of the 2 positions. that you're gonna probably invest the heaviest in the left-sided centre back. I also think that it just, as of what the news is suggesting, that we could get someone like De Vrij for relatively small sums of money because of the financial situation at Inter Milan, right? If you can get De Vrij for 15 million quid, like get him all day long, and then Eric Dier can compete for that position, but you're not going to find somebody as good as De Vrij in the left-sided centre-back position for 15 million quid. There's only a handful of players that are in that position that are, people that we could go after. One of them is Pau Torres. One of them might be Gvardiol. Another one, they're saying Bastoni. I don't think that's realistic. But, if we're going to go for someone really good in those positions, it's going to cost big money. And, for me, I think
that
the
just
most
by
likely
circumstance then? Do you think that's by circumstance that they happen to cost a lot more money? Or do you think it's that Spurs are like, this is a position that we can't sacrifice a bit of quality for? Do you feel like?
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think you have to factor in, that if we're going to go for a 3-4-3 next year or a 3-5-2, then those wing backs are going to be people that are going to be creating so much offensively, which may leave, leave you more vulnerable down the wings. And so you have to improve on that side. But I think that the quality of player that you need is more expensive at the moment in that position than it would be to improve on Eric Dier. I do think that the option that makes the most sense, even though I'd love Gvardiol and I'd absolutely adore Bastoni, I think the option that makes most sense, given the budget and given how you can move other players around, I think I said it earlier today, I think that the most sense is to go after Pau Torres because he might cost 55 million net, but Villarreal would really like to keep Lo Celso, and we don't want Lo Celso, but there's intrinsic value in Lo Celso's contract, so I think you could potentially value him at 30, pay 25 million to Villarreal net, and then get Pau Torres. They keep Lo Celso. We get a 60 or 55, 60 million pound left-sided centre back for the cost of essentially, if you could also confirm the sale of Cameron Carter's Vickers for 10 million.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if you could get rid of a Harry Winks for 10, 15 million, if there was a Fulham that wanted him or something like that, then you could essentially get rid of 3 players that you don't want, don't need, have no future at the club, and pay no money and get Pau Torres in a left-sided centre-back. It just makes absolute sense. And then you pay 15 million quid for De Vrij, and then you've got the best back 3 in the Premier League for 15 million quid. And then how strong does that make you feel about Tottenham's future, Tottenham's fortunes next season? That's how I would go about it.
Shivers with that, even Paratici there might, be taking a quick, post-it note, kind of note right there, Sean. I really liked that, actually, to be fair. And I think it is I think you even mentioned that sort of style. I think, was it in your most recent Tottenham walk, I believe? I think you spoke about, kind of.
Yeah, today I did this morning. I did it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I heard, you say something pretty similar to that. And I think it is a pretty savvy way to go about it. Brian, what do you think that Ben Davies is doing that maybe could be done by a more expensive, maybe better center back? What do you think? Because Ben Davies, he's had really good performances, let's be honest. So what do you think, in his performances that maybe we're missing? How can we improve on it? What could be better about Ben Davies' game?
Well, do you know what? Ben Davies had a great season. He may have had a few mistakes or anything, but he's been a lot better than everyone thought he would be, and there's no denying that. But he needs support. We've got, like I said, we've got 15 players fit now. You can't do that. You need players that can rotate, that can take up that aren't going to play 38 games. And the reason that obviously it looks like we're spending the most money there is because the caliber of player we want there is going to cost the most. You look at it, but De Vrij is going to be 16 million or whatever because of his age. Dumfries is going to be a certain age. And when it comes to this left-sided player, the one they're talking about, Pau Torres, is going to be costing big money regardless. Unless it's like Sean said, used it with the Celso in a swap deal with cash, whatever. But Ben Davies needs support. If you remember last season when we got battered by Brighton, or I say battered, we lost to Brighton 1-0, Ben Davies got ripped apart. And the reason he got ripped apart is he played 11 games on the bounce because Reguilon was injured. No player can, unless you're like a Frank Lampard or someone that don't, like a Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, who just doesn't get injured, you cannot play 38 games in the Premier League, plus European, plus domestic cup. So you need squad rotation. That's what wins it. You look at our bench, it's one of the biggest problems we have. So if we had a Pau Torres and Ben Davies on the bench, You're like, okay, Ben Davies comes off the bench if he's needed, or plays cup games and whatever European, unless it's the Champions League, obviously. That's what it's all about. You need to keep all our players fresh, fit, ready, and we need to find. If you look at, like I said, Eric, like Sean said as well, if you look at the back three, Romero's obviously leagues ahead. Dier is stronger than Davies, whether you like to agree or not in the season he's had. So Davies is the one that needs a little bit more support. So I think that's why their attention's focused on it. And the one they're looking at, which the rumour won't go away, does seem to be Pau Torres, which is there are going to be a lot of teams after him, and he's going to cost money. He is going to cost money. So across that defence, we need to make sure we get the right player. This is what it's all about. If we have to spending money on De Vrij and Dumfries is smart and not going to cost the world. Spending on someone like Pau Torres, who can play with Romero for years and years, that's when you have to go, right, this is where we need to spend a bit of money and get this right, rather than doing what we've done with all the right backs and just buying shit, then more shit, then more shit, then more. You have to address it. And Pau Torres looks like the favourite one, so you have to spend that money.
Yeah, you absolutely do have to spend that money. And kind of the scary thing to think about, though, with the Ben Davies, left-sided center back position is that while, we know we need to make probably a dramatic, upgrade on it, it's kind of crazy that he is sort of the only player you could look at and point to in the entire squad that can even play that position in the first place. So you really think that maybe the reason it also is the most expensive upgrade is just because we only have one player in the whole squad that can essentially even play that position in that back three, which is a huge worry to think about. That kind of like maybe Doherty to a degree. Who knew that, again, the whole fabric of the entire starting 11 was, hinging on Ben Davies and Doherty at the end of the day. But Dark Sun G saying, David, are you talking about the 23 pen stat?
I'm not sure what exactly it was. I didn't see it on BBC. I remember just reading an article earlier on and seeing it. That's why I was hoping, Dark Sun G, you might have it logged somewhere on that big bad boy of a computer of yours with all the stats on it. But look, maybe it's on the BBC. I don't know, my man. I do not know. But Dark Sun G, if you can find it, that'd be awesome. Absolute legend. Just quickly, while we're talking about the game.
Oh, yeah. Sorry,
just Mark New. Just quickly, the referee is Michael Oliver, and in the VAR room it's Darren England. So there you are, man. That's who in charge of the game. So I'm no doubt Dark Sun G will have a stat on Darren Oliver or Michael Oliver and Darren England. But big up Mark New. There you are. Who says we don't answer questions over here? We try to answer everybody. Bob Spur TV says, I've just unsubscribed to piss Sean off.
Yeah, that will happen a few times. No doubt. I'll wake up tomorrow and I'll be on 995, whatever. It's all good. It's all good.
No. You're going to have a lot of people in and out doing that. Big up, Lucas. Well, good to see you in the building. Big up, Bob, though. Bob will be on it all night now. He'll just have you up all night, giving you sweat.
Subscribe.
Him and Paddy will be at it. Absolutely love it. DB, he was asking how to become a member. For those people out there who do not know, how there is a join button. You'll see it on the YouTube page. Just click on that and it'll bring you to the memberships. But DB has become a YouTube member. That lovely badge beside his name. Look, the ideal scenario is we see all of your beautiful faces, all the regulars, all the we always see with that badge beside their name. That is the plan. That is the goal. But big up, DB, and hopefully we see you on the fan show Monday. Might even have to start running 2 a week because they're just getting longer and longer each week. The amount of members, it's brilliant. I love to see it. Big up,
Absolutely.
DB. Absolutely.
Welcome
legend.
to the family, DB, and really appreciate the support, my man. Ryan Isaacs Kennard, or Kennard, I believe. Great name, regardless. Great name. With just a donation. I was looking for a comment, Ryan. If you meant to put in a comment, my man, just put it in. We'll be happy to talk about it and put it up on screen. But really do appreciate you, Ryan. And then Dark Sun G in here with the big one saying, is there any truth for Blues that they might not be able to participate in the Premier League next season because of the ownership issue? I saw an article in Korea. Will that affect the top 4 spot next season, or is it separate? Brian, I saw you kind of nodding your head. What do you know about this? I'm actually in the dark. I don't really know anything.
So what I don't know. It's a really good point about the top 4. Actually, it's a very, very good point. Their license for the Premier League expires on the 31st of May. If they haven't been bought out by the 31st of May, Chelsea will no longer exist, or until they find a buyer, will no longer exist. Although I think I saw somewhere that may have been extended to June the 8th. I think. I'm not 100% sure, but literally, because it's come out that Abramovich now wants his 1.5 billion back, it's put a hell of a lot of trouble onto the potential buyers of Chelsea. So they have, although then you've got to look at it, is this a Chelsea thing with Roman Abramovich that they're sanctioning, or is this a government thing? Because Chelsea is still allowed to work because they've got this title, a cultural heritage or something because of what they are for the country. So that's how they're allowed to operate right now. But if this doesn't get sorted by the end of the month or 8th of June latest, the Premier League apparently are having meetings today to discuss what will happen if Chelsea aren't in the Premier League. Because then it could be who comes up from the Championship to take their place, or does only 2 go down this year instead of 3? So it's shut the whole Premier League into some
I think it's just posturing anyway. Personally,
Yeah,
I think it's like I hear all the news and everything, but I think it's just a nice little news article. But I think that Roman Abramovich was either buying his time to be able to get out of the country, get out of the way, completely get away from it. So he said, I'll write the money down, all that stuff. First of all, you can't just write off debts. You can't just do that, right? So the $1.5 billion loan that was given, that was in, I don't want it back. If that actually happened, I don't even know how that would be like retrospectively applied, because then they would have retrospective like issues with, the financing, with the financial fair play. You're essentially getting free money, £1.5 billion of free money that isn't. It doesn't make any sense. I personally believe he's just using that noise about saying I want it as like a way of getting some political leverage, like leave me the fuck alone, or I'll ask my money back, kind of thing. So I think it's more just a political thing than a football thing. I'm pretty sure that at the end of the day, it'll all be kind of swept under the rug, and he'll walk away and just won't be touched on any kind of like further punishment stuff. But until we know any more details, it's really difficult to speculate, isn't it?
Yeah, the whole thing has come about is because apparently before Abramovich was willing to walk away without taking one of his over $1 billion back, but now apparently he wants it. So look, we'll just wait and see how it pans out. Look, you won't see Chelsea go sanctioned or go either. I think they'll always be it's one of them. They're probably too big to go, to be honest with you. I think with the Premier League, I just think it's Abramovich trying to flex his muscles, to be honest, and try and get some way out of England with maybe some of his assets. But big up Dark Song G, brother.
He wants his yacht back. He'll say, give me my fucking yacht and you have the money. Just let me have my yacht. How else am I going to get to Brazil?
Dagilar is sitting on the yacht trying to conduct the deal for Tottenham Hotspur. So
if only.
But big up Dark Song G. Really appreciate the support.
Abramovich and Joe Lewis's yachts could be used in battleship, maybe, hopefully. To Bottom Duda saying Sessegnon is going to be so crucial tomorrow to stop Salah. He did a top job in the 2-2 draw. Son and Kane, 1 goal each tomorrow. Sessegnon was absolutely immense defensively against Salah, and probably one of the toughest players, I think, at the time as well. I think Salah was in really good form going into that game, and he just absolutely shut him out. Brian, do you anticipate Sessegnon having a similar sort of performance? I don't even know if he could be that good again, but hopefully some of the same.
I hope so. I've said it on most streams. I'm a fan of Sessegnon. I just think his fitness has been a huge stumbling block. He did play absolutely incredibly against Liverpool in the home leg just before Christmas, and let's hope he can do it again. Listen, Salah hasn't been on the best of form recently. He got a couple of goals against United, but he's not the Salah that he was playing in December. That's for damn sure. So I think Sessegnon can have a huge part to play in this. If he can keep him quiet, that obviously enhances our chance of getting something out of the game. And I think Sessegnon could have a big game, a big game. He is vital, because you've got to remember as well, we've got to hope they come down our left, because if they go down our right with Emerson, we could be in a lot of trouble. So he could have a very, very big part to play in this game. And also it'll give Trent Alexander-Arnold, hopefully he'll push him up so he doesn't come forward so much. So it gives Alexander something to think of, because he's got some pace on him, Sessegnon, when he gets going. So he could have a pivotal role to play.
Yeah.
There you are. There you are.
Just
the bottom
look,
two, I would say Son and Kane scoring. Absolutely. But yeah, sorry, Dave. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say, look, you even seen Sessegnon had a great game against Man City. Sessegnon can have very good games defensively. So I wouldn't write off putting in another performance, to be honest with you, from the kid. And boy, do we need it. I mean, he's the only left back available, so we're going to have a good game because we won't be able to take him off and bring someone else in to solid it up. So he's going to have a good game from minute one. But look, he's capable. Look, we've seen it against Liverpool and Man City, so I'm all for it. But big up the bottom dude. I really appreciate the support, my man. Sean, anything quickly you want to say on Session, and then I'm going to go off on Ben Davies and Dier for a minute, and then I need to go to the toilet.
No. I just whatever's already been said. I completely agree. You know, when we heard today that the Reguilon is out for the rest of the season, obviously that's horrendous news. But when you look at the two games we've got coming up, and the fact that you've got Salah on the right for Liverpool, and then you've got the Arsenal's best player is Saka on the right for Arsenal. You know, if you had to lose Reguilon or Sessegnon to injury at this stage of the season, given what we've got coming up, of course you would choose to lose to Reguilon because Sessegnon is so pivotal and so much more stronger defensively. So I completely agree. Sessegnon is going to be a massive part of whatever happens on Saturday, and the same again for the following Thursday as well. So yeah, big up the bottom dudes. Love you, man.
Big up. Big up, my man. Just quickly, so Jack, I'll just answer the Davies question.
You want to touch on Davies? Yeah, you want to touch on Davies. You know, why is that the position that we're going to spend the most on, Dave?
Look, for me, you look across the whole back line, bar Romero, it's all square pegs in round holes. Sessegnon's a left winger. Davies was brought as a left back. Dier was brought in as a right back, and he's played centre mid under Pochettino for quite a while. And Emerson was also brought in as a right back. So none of them are actually naturals, bar Romero, in his position. And look, when it comes to Ben Davies, don't get me wrong, I think he's had a very good season in terms of what we're used to seeing from Ben Davies. I think it's probably been his best season in a Tottenham jersey, but he is still prone to mistakes and switching off. And that's what cost us. That's what cost us in big games. That's what cost us in games that we should be winning, is these moments of these players switching off, loose controls, giving away the ball. Look, for me, I would keep Davies around as a squad player, but I want someone to come in that is A, taller, and B, quicker. And that they're the two weaknesses in Davies' games, I feel, is that sometimes he can get caught out for pace, which we've seen against in the Leicester game. But also, I feel, our centre-back should be offering us more from set pieces defensively and going forward. And the only way to eradicate that is by bringing in players that are bigger and can compete aerially better than Ben Davies. So I'd upgrade on him. Now, just quickly, I'm going to move into Moon Boots. Now, for me, I think the biggest one we need to upgrade is on Dier. Look, don't get me wrong. This Tottenham team at the minute is better with him in the team than with him out the team. We've seen that throughout all the stats. But you look at what he's done in the last few games, turn these back on shots that like water, like someone's jumped into a pool and there's water coming out of it, splashing them, right? You go back to Leicester. Wasn't costly, but again, turned these back. But where it was costly was against Brighton and against Man United when Cristiano Ronaldo had a pop from outside the box. And it cannot keep happening. You get them 2 points from that two games. We're sitting inside top four now, and we're not going into a must-win situation at Anfield, most trickiest game of the season. Again, look, a lot of people praise him for being a leader, but I'll be honest, Jack. I mean, yes, he may have found some confidence and he speaks a little bit more than everybody else. But at the end of the day, he may be a leader in terms of calling out other people, but where's the leadership across that back line? Why are Davies and Dier often caught marking the same man? Why is it always up to Romero to be able to get in behind him, get in these important blocks, get in the tackles, win the headers? It can't be always up to him. Dier is too sloppy on the football. He makes too many mistakes, and over the course of the season, they're costly. And that's the difference between challenging for top four, being in top four, or being up where Chelsea are right now, and sitting comfortably inside top four. Davies and Dier, unfortunately, are the difference. You go back to the game against West Ham where Dier passed one out straight to West Ham and they went up and scored. Although not as costly, but these are things that should not be happening. And when they're happening in these sort of games, when you go into the bigger games, it happens. They're nervous, they're loose, they're erratic on the football. And, we have no chance of winning these games because of some of these guys. So for me, I do think I would like to upgrade over the course of the season. Look, they can come in and have one-off games and they can play well against some of the bigger teams. But over the course of the season, it's too costly in terms of where we want to go. And that's why we need to upgrade on them. Eric Dier is not a natural centre-back. And Ben Davies is not a natural left-sided centre-back. You need to upgrade on them. You need players that are going to come in and give you that consistency, whether it's against Burnley or whether it's against Liverpool. They're going to show up. They're going to approach the game the same way, and they're going to try and play the same way and not have these costly errors. We should be looking at games against the likes of Burnley and teams like that. We should be comfortable. We should go going into them games knowing that our rear guard's not going to concede. And we can build on from that and go and get these points. And that's why I upgrade on Davies and Dier. And just quickly, before you have to go toilet, Harry Winks, I was absolutely sickened today to see a news report about Harry Winks. Apparently, Harry Winks is trying to look for a move out of Tottenham. I'm sitting there, I'm like, how has it got to this stage? How has Tottenham not moved this guy on? How is Harry Winks looking for a move out of the club? It's absolutely ridiculous. That's embarrassing on all levels. No headline should ever come out like that, ever. Harry Winks is looking for and pushing for a move out of Tottenham. We should have pushed him out of Tottenham yonks ago. He should be working on the Skywalk or something like that. It's ridiculous. But I need to go and tell you that. I'll be back.
Mic drop
up as well. Might as well. Almost like you put a Harry Winks cherry on top at the end of all that as well. Might as well just add a bit to it. But Brian, might as well move on to Eric Dier here. We've been talking a lot about making upgrades on Ben Davies. That's the one that seems very obvious that Spurs will look, to be upgrading this summer. But do you feel like maybe they'll be looking for an Eric Dier replacement? And do you think there needs to be, kind of an Eric Dier sort of upgrade? I mean, what's your confidence in him? Do you think that's a priority as well this summer?
Do I think they will? No. Do I think they should? Yes. Because you've got to look at you. We've got 15 players fit at the moment. Strength in depth, which is something we've all been saying for such a long time. Is such a big issue at this club, such a big issue that it needs addressing. Now, everyone's going on about this big summer that we're going to have. By the looks of it, people think we're going to get like 12 players in, and all of a sudden, everyone's going to have a player in two. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I believe we will get a few players in. That's not what I'm debating. I'm debating whether they think that Davies, when they look at Joe Rodon, who doesn't get a game, when they look at Davinson Sanchez, who can play there, doesn't get a game. You got to remember, we've got to shift people out as well. It's about getting the people out. And out of all the players we have that need upgrading, is he a priority? I don't think he is. If you get a left centre, if we get a Pau Torres, if we get a De Vrij or a Dumfries, I don't see how that sorts out a lion's share of the problem. A lion's share of the problem. Then you need to focus on beefing up the midfield. Then you need to focus on beefing up the attack. So I think, do I think he needs upgrading? Yes. Do I think he'll be the last one we upgrade? Yes.
Yeah.
I think he'll be the last one.
Maybe a follow-up then question, Brian. Do you think about, our next season? It's going to be a very ambitious next season. We're going to want to achieve a lot, but then maybe Eric Dier being the starting center back in that middle of that back three. Do you think he is good enough, to help us succeed in that very ambitious season?
Well, you look at it when he did play a back three, when he had like Davinson Sanchez did, when you had a Toby and a Jan either side of you, you're going to be fine. And if we get Pau Torres to go alongside a Romero, Eric Dier will be fine. Like I said, does he need to be upgraded? Yes, but if you get those two either side of him, just like Sanchez was incredible in his first season with Jan and Toby, I think they'll see Dier as the last one to upgrade. But do we need to do it? Yes.
Yeah, I've been kind of the interesting thing, Brian, is that if you kind of say is he good enough, to help us, achieve what we want to next season? If your answer is no, then the big worrying part is that then if you feel like Spurs won't actually upgrade on him, and that answer is also no, then there's a bit of a problem. Where I think with you, it's no, they're not going to upgrade on it. Yes, he's probably good enough, and I think that is solid logic. That if you just have two quality, if not even world-class center backs, surrounding the likes of an Eric Dier, maybe Eric Dier might not look so shaky. So I actually do, think that's solid logic behind that. But Sean, What do you feel like? Is Eric Dier maybe someone that needs to be upgraded this, summer? Is that someone he would see as more of a priority? And do you think Spurs see upgrading Eric Dier as a priority?
Yeah. Well, I mean, all the noises that we're going to get De Vrij in, right? He's a central-sided centre back.
Yeah,
15 million quid. I've read 30, 40 reports on him on this particular transfer over the last month, and the price range goes from 15 million up to 45, 50 million, depending on which article you read. 50 million quid, I don't think you're going to see Tottenham pay that kind of money for him at 30, but at 15 million quid, I think you absolutely can. And given the relationships with Paratici and Juventus, Inter, and with Conte, I think it's probably more likely than not. I think that if you can get this guy for 15 million, you bite the hand off. You don't go in there and haggle and go 12 million. You absolutely just pay the fee, because there's, the likes of Chelsea, right? Chelsea, let's presume that they're going to be, a relevant team next year, which they absolutely should be and will be, in all likelihood are going to be. They've got Rudiger leaving. They've got Christensen leaving. They're going to have to rebuild. They're going to be looking. There's other Manchester United need to improve on people like Harry Maguire in all likelihood. So this is one of those situations where if Tottenham can utilize relationships that we have within Italy, through Paratici, through Conte, and Inter Milan need money, and if De Vrij is available for 15 million quid, you know what? You go and pay 16 million quid just to get it done. You don't sit there and haggle over 500 grand. You don't do what Daniel Levy is likely to do. You go and get it done, even if it costs 60. You know what? Here's an extra mil. I hope it helps you out, and I hope that gets you a little bit of gives us a good relationship for future, because it means sod all in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, it gets the job done. They should be wrapping this up before the end of the season. They should be wrapping it up this week, if possible, so that come June the 1st, we've got De Vrij coming in. And Eric Dier, I don't want Eric Dier to leave. This is not a slight on Eric Dier. I think Eric Dier has been a great servant of the club. I'd like him to stay at the club. He can drop down to rotational status. He can still play 30% of the games in the season. It allows us then to move on Joe Rodon or send him out on loan. Because I think if you sell Joe Rodon right now, you're not going to get the money back you paid on him. But he's got a long contract. You can get him out on loan. It also allows you to get rid of Cameron Carter-Vickers, as I already mentioned. It also allows you to maybe try and redeem some money on someone like Sanchez, or maybe keep Sanchez, whatever. But if De Vrij is available for 15 million quid, you get it done. He's a massive improvement on Dier. He's done it. He's a winner. He's done so much. He's done so well for Ajax. He's done fairly well in Italy. You get the job done quickly, and no fuss, no negotiations. And then, like I said earlier, just imagine the back three next season of someone like Torres, De Vrij, and Romero. That's a mouth-watering back three. And then if you get that back three done, then you can move on to and pay the money for more demanding positions where you don't have the relationships and you just got to pay the market rates. But 15 million for De Vrij, 100% you get it done right now.
But
bite the hand off, as Sean said. Yeah.
Just by upgrading, I mean, getting in more competent defenders and defenders that are more what you would say stable across the season, it also gives you an option to switch to a back four, because we know you can't do that with a Dier. You can't do that with a Davies. They're not strong enough in as a two. We've seen that time and time again. We've seen Davies against Antwerp was the reason why we lost that game last season. Dier got absolutely railroaded all season long last season. We know that they cannot play a back four. So if we want the option to be able to switch to a back four, even during games, or just have that option for coming up against teams that sit low block to be able to go back four, we can't do that with Dier and Davies. And that's why it's important we get in upgrades. And for me, I want two. Look, I'd be happy with one, happy with one, but I really want two, because when I look at that squad, I think, look, midfield, you're okay. I'd like another body. Going forward, I'd like another body or two, because it looks like Bergwijn's on his way out. Apparently, he's not showing the best attitude around the training ground, according to Ali Gold. So there will be a lot of activity this summer, but it's important that we get in two centre-backs so that we do have that option to go back four if we want.
But let's maybe be, realistic, if not maybe, a bit harsh here. I thought Brian, was given a very realistic answer. Where do you think, if Spurs were to get 6 signings in, let's say 5, to 6, where does Dier fall on that, priority list for Spurs? Because, Brian, I think cleverly was saying, like, for us, it's, a priority. We see it as, being, upgraded right away. But, does the Spurs hierarchy, or does the Spurs, manager / Paratici see it that way?
Well,
So, Dave, if six signings were to happen, do you see a second signer back being part of that 6 signings?
I would like to think so, to be honest with you, Jack.
Yeah.
Look, it's important. At the end of the day, we know we have the players that can go and score goals. But what we don't have is the players that, even when our front players are having a bad day, that can keep a clean sheet and at least get us out with a point. We've seen that time and time again this season, last season, with some of these same players. And that's the difference, my friends, between being inside top 4, not being in top 4. That's the difference between going on a longer cup journey and getting the job done and getting over the line than not getting the job done and getting over the line. The defence, and I've maintained this all season long, has been our Achilles heel, in my opinion. They're just prone to switch offs, and that cannot keep happening if we want to be able to go where Conte wants to take us. Conte is a winner. He wants to win at all cost, and that is not good enough. Look, he's highlighted before about the defence, how stressed out he gets out about. All of us Spurs fans get stressed out about it, and a lot of the early links are all about wing-backs and centre-backs. So I see defence being a huge area of improvement this summer, because you look at it over the course of the season, some of the times where these guys have switched off, that's us inside top 4, and we're not left going to Anfield for a win. I keep saying it.
Yeah, I agree.
To quickly answer probably my own question, I feel like Eric Dier has been quite shaky towards the end of the season. Perhaps has to do with tiredness. I think maybe brought up by someone before. Perhaps just has to do with the fact that he has, at crucial moments of seasons past when we do, need to get the points, he puts in a bit more shakier performances than we really would like. I think be absolutely fine to have Eric Dier probably next season. I think probably Daigle's sort of logic there, that if you have 2 world-class center backs next to him, you could probably see an even better version of Eric Dier.
100%.
I would say recently there's been signs of risk, and I thought we saw an improved version of Moon Boots. I thought he was just a different version of himself, but I feel like we're still seeing cracks of the old, kind of Eric Dier in there in certain moments. So that's where kind of my worries come from. But where does that, priority lie with the Spurs hierarchy? I find that being, like kind of Brian was saying, one of the last, sort of signings that's on their priority list, which for me could be a bit of a worry, actually. So I don't know, but there probably are more important positions like the wing backs, of course, and whatnot. But I still see Eric Dier as not really being potentially the most dependable
15
for what
million
we
quid?
might want to achieve next season. 15 million quid. If we get DeVry, I think, like you said, Sean, absolute steal.
Snap, right?
Let's just say that. Yeah, I think.
But if he goes elsewhere, and then you lose that option, and then you're looking for people that are as good as DeVry or an improvement on Dier, and those options cost 35-40 million, then I'm 100% with you and with Brian in that we could probably make do with Eric Dier, Pau Torres or whatever, and Romero as our front 3. And there's more money to be spent elsewhere. But if you can get him for 15 million quid, you don't balk at that. You pay the money and you get it done, right? It's a steal.
I think, Sean, I see right wing back. Obviously, I think everyone will agree that needs strengthening with 1, if not 2 players. Doherty's coming back, but do you go 1 or 2? Regulon, who I think's off in the summer anyway, and Sessegnon, do they need upgrading? Yes, they do. A left-sided centre back for help for Davies? Does he need doing? Yes, he does. Is Galini going? Is he coming back on loan? Is there another goalie coming in? Yes, they do. That's 4 out of the 5, or 5 out of the 6.
Before you even started with the midfielders.
And then if you look at that back line and Lloris and say which is the one, obviously Romero's he's untouchable, but the rest of them, you've got to say Dier's the next strongest one. And the others you could probably be happy to see upgraded. That's even before I start talking about midfield and maybe competition for Kane. So that's why I said, do I think we need it? Yes. Do I think we'll do it? No, because I think after Romero, I think he's the next safest thing that we have at the moment. Not saying that's acceptable, but that's why I think it'll be elsewhere spent.
It's interesting. It's interesting what you guys are saying about with the whole left wing back speech, right? So I definitely think that he's out as well. That Reguilon's gone, whether he goes to United or whether he goes back to Madrid or somewhere else. But I said it today as well, and I think I got his name wrong a couple of times. It's a hard one to say, but Ridvan Yilmaz. There was this news about him from Besiktas.
Yeah, the Turkish guy you're talking about.
The Turkish guy, right? And so here's the reason why you know that there's some truth or there's no smoke without fire with this one. because they only want 10 million euros, 8 million quid for him. And the Besiktas president said, we have received a bid from a European / English Premier / British club, but they've only bid 8 million. We won't entertain it until it's 10 million. If they bid 10 million, then we'll let him go. And when you put together the fact that it's been touted like by 10 different outlets that it's possible, when you also hear the fact that they only want 10 million, but we've bid 8 million, or someone's bid 8 million, that's Daniel Levy, don't you? You just know it's Daniel Levy straight away.
No
So,
comment.
I think the more
I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth over here, as we say.
so, but this guy, I looked him up. These highlight reels, it's good, but highlight reels are highlight reels. But he's 20 years old. He's definitely a swashbuckling left wing back. Maybe he would be the choice for a cheap choice as a replacement for Reguilon, which does allow more money to be spent in the right wing back spot, which is where you want the money to be distributed, really, don't you?
Yeah,
that's my thoughts. Yeah. Sorry, my thoughts.
No, look, just quickly for me, I get what people are saying about Dier, that he's the next strongest in the back line, but for me, that's by default because of the lack of investment in that position. And for me, look, I still would upgrade, because at the end of the day, put Pau Torres and Romero beside him, he's still going to cost you games, and he's still going to make the errors. And the reason why is because his first instinct is always to make up for his lack of pace by dropping back. And I'll be honest, I can't have any more pictures going out of Eric Dier turning his back on a shot and opening up the goal, because it's not a good sign for any youngster out there that's learning, that wants to learn about the game, because you should be going out full frontal, put your body on the line. You're being paid enough for it. I mean, 100 grand that week to get winded. I mean, boot the ball at me all day long, please. I would. I'd take it every single day of the week.
David, let me ask you this question then. So you're content, you're in charge, yeah? You got Romero and Lloris, who are obviously out of that back six. They are absolutely guaranteed number one, and obviously Romero. Who is the one person you wouldn't replace out of that back line, if you could, in the one position that if you had to say, right, we're going to address every position, bar one out of that, where's the one where you go, okay, the ones we've got at the moment I think is enough?
I'd probably go a left wing back. I'd be honest. I think this is bar Romero's position, yeah?
Yeah, bar Romero and Lloris, are them two, sir. We're talking centre back, left wing back, right wing back. If you had to say, right, one position is staying the same, we're not touching.
I mean, look, for me, defense is what wins you things, to be honest with you. We've already got the attacking players, like
Great
I said.
question.
Yeah, it is. For me, I would go a left wing back. Look, we're short with Dier. I mean, his backup is Rodon or Sanchez. Don't want either of them. Think they're both donkeys. Don't want Davies. I think we can upgrade on him. I think the one where you might get away with it is left wing back, because I think Session and Reguilon are more or less like the same sort of player. But whereas there's a massive difference between Doherty and Emerson. There's a massive difference between Dier and Sanchez. A massive difference between Davies and the fresh air that's backing him up. So for me, I think left wing back, I wouldn't upgrade. I actually think you might get away with it for another season. But I think two centre backs and right wing back are necessary this window.
Great question and a really, really well thought out answer, actually.
I
was going to say Dier, but I actually think you're right on the basis of what you just said.
The only reason I wouldn't have chosen left back is I personally think Reguilon's on the way out. But even if he doesn't, their fitness between the two of them, you never know when neither of them can have a good run of form. Yeah. Neither of them stay fit for long enough. So that's why, again, I think Reguilon's gone. So I think another left wing back's coming in. But I can see why they go there. My only problem with that is their fitness.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that is a big concern.
Get him on the asthma juice that Liverpool are doing,
Dark Sun G.
You may put out a little short video on that, though. Sorry, Jack. Sean, you may put out a little video on that, get people stirring it up,
Well, I'll share the video that the Liverpool vlog was doing, because it was shared. It was the guy blew my mind. I was like, that makes absolute sense. It's brilliant. So
maybe Sean will have the tinfoil flat cap, for the next.
Tinfoil flat cap. That's brilliant. That's lovely.
Dark Sun G saying this is the first time this season Michael Oliver refs for us. Last season he was the ref for the North London derby away that Coco scored and got sent off for. He gave Dawson a red as well against the Blues.
So basically, what this is telling me is that the Premier League have sent in a specially designated referee to help Liverpool. That's all it tells me.
That's funny though, because I actually like Michael Oliver. I don't think he's that bad of a referee.
Well, he hasn't ref for us at all this season. Is that what Duck Sanji is saying?
Well, the looks of it.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe Michael Oliver's going to be our lucky
That's
charm.
more the conspiracy that we haven't gotten Michael Oliver very much. Maybe that's more the conspiracy, if anything. We don't really know, whether to like him or whether to hate him. It seems like, that's the conspiracy.
Yeah.
But Dark Sanji, it seems like if it doesn't go our way, we know why what David said, and I feel like you probably agree as well, Dark Sanji, that it's all, just probably being well arranged by Liverpool in the VAR with the yellow envelopes. You know the story, Dark Sanji.
He's young enough as well. I mean, he looks like the sort of guy it'd be perfect to send a couple of women to his room at night time. I mean, he looks like he'd enjoy it. So
Dark Sanji saying, do you think we get 6 in the summer and 2 to 3 in January? I think we do get 6. It's just there's going to be at least 2 that are with Levy characteristics, 2 signings with Levy characteristics that I expect to happen. 2 to 3 in January. I feel like only 1 signing in January, if maybe 2 the most, but definitely not 3. Maybe we'll just quickly go around the horn here, and I do mean quickly. Dave, 6 signings happening, 2 to 3 in January.
Yeah, 6 signings minimum this summer if we want to compete, which is Conte's ambition. I reckon 2 in January then, because in January, we'd be in a position where you're just kind of filling in for an injury that's been out for the end of the season or somewhere that maybe you're a bit weak in. So I think January would make sense for 2.
Yeah. Dago, what are your thoughts?
I've said before, I think this may be a summer where we do get players in. The question is whether they are the players.
If you were to give a number for the summer, like 4, 6, 3.
Like I said to you, mate, if 6 was the answer and 4 was over 50%, then I'm going to be happy because Conte's been backed if they're the players he wants. I think a lot of the coming in depends on the going out. So if we can get people out, I can see 6 easily being done. But if we can't move people out, maybe 4 or 5.
All right. And then January, I only see 1 happening. In January, probably.
You've got to remember as well. This could be. You don't know what's going to happen at the World Cup. Like David said, we could pick up a couple of injuries during that World Cup that we're going to have to go out and spend, or there could be a player that we were linked with that had a great World Cup, and we're going to need to go out and get him before everyone else tries to get him.
Yeah.
So I can see 2 in January. I can see 2 in January.
All right, Sean, 6 happening in the summer.
Yeah, I can see 3 happening early, 3 in June, 2 in August, a late one, a deadline day just for old time's sake, and then I think probably maybe only 1, maybe 2 in January. But yeah,
a nice early fall, signing as well. A nice early fall signing, a mid-June signing.
Drip feed, but I'm so determined, so desperate for a statement, like I said it again earlier. If we could just get a De Vrij done now, get it done. Hopefully Paratici's doing his ingredients now, getting the kitchen cleaned and ready. Just get a couple done really early. Sign them in June, and then I'm happy. Then we can all just relax, and then we can see them drip feed through. I don't want to see 6 late. I also don't want to see us shoot our load too soon, and pay up for things. I want to see it. I want to see a strategic thing where it's 3 early, 2 midsummer, 1 late summer, early fall, and then in January 1. Yeah, 1 or 2.
You heard me, Paratici. There you go. Slow drip feed. Drip them into the club. Nice and easy now. Nice and easy, Paratici.
Give us something to talk about over the summer.
Space it out. Dark Sanji is saying, do you think Hill and Sarr will be used next season? I'd like to think that Brian Hill will be in kind of the periphery of the squad next season. I imagine Pape Matar Sarr could be used as a Harry Winks sort of role. He plays 200 Premier League minutes, ends up maybe playing, some, Carabao as well as FA Cup fixtures. Maybe he could play in the Europa League if we were in the Europa League. I think
that's what it depends on.
Yeah, I think maybe that's what it depends on is Europa League. Europa League versus Champions League, where you could get away with Hill and Sarr in the Champions League if you do have, or in the Europa League, excuse me, if you had Champions League, might not be able to get away with them as much.
Yeah, for me, I think Gill and Sarr, Champions League, they're out on loan. I think Europa League might just be kept around because you need players like that to fill your squad out that you can give game time to in that competition. So I think, me personally, I think that's their future.
I think they're good enough for that too. If they still had a good squad around them, if those players still had a good squad around them, I think they should be still good enough to compete for sure. Bottom Duda with a really generous one saying we will have to look at 3 or even 4 $10 to $15 million players if we need to get in 1 or 2 $40 million plus players, and hence players like Kostic and Rivan Yilmaz are so important. In my opinion, the pricing for the bottom Duda is becoming very important. While we do want to sign a player in each of these positions, all 6 of these positions, and we sometimes don't really want to care about the price, we do have to take into consideration maybe which ones we probably settle for probably something that's a bit cheaper and which ones we probably would spend, the bigger ones on. We probably ask this question in 1,000 different ways all the time on this channel, as well as on my channel for sure. But 10 to 15 million pound players, I think it's like that Eric Dier position to bottom Duda. I could see to a degree, maybe if we were to get rid of like a Reguilón, maybe you do go for like a 10 to 15 million pound one there. But it's tough. You just have to prioritize which ones you go for cheaper, which ones you go for more expensive ones.
Jed Spence over the right is rumored to be about that, not too much more than that.
That would be a good example.
That'd be a good example of one getting in there. Yeah, De Vrij, like Sean was saying. I mean, look, there's players out there that you can't get in. Yeah, Kostic.
How much do you think Conrad Lima's going to set you back?
That's
20 to 25 million. I think 20 to 25 million around that.
So you
because
could,
funny thing about Leipzig is Leipzig don't really need to replace them. They have those guys churning out like a factory line. So I think they just don't really care. So 20 25 million. Yeah.
Sorry, Jack, go on, you finish, brother. You finish.
I know. I was actually stalling, so please take it.
Okay, so no, I was about to say the most important thing we do this season is we bring players in before players come out. No more of this, right, we'll get these players out and get the money and then we'll bring them in. We need to we need to upgrade on everyone, know those upgrades are in, and then say, right, now you can go. Not, we need the money from, let's say, a Reguilón so we can get this one, or money for a Tanguy to get that one. It's, right, Tanguy's going, the deal's lined up. We're bringing his replacement in, so he's wrapped up, signed, sealed, delivered before you go out. Enough of this waiting till the players go to bring players in. The money's there, the space in the squad is there, so get them in before the players go out because you're going to recoup it. No more of this. These deals need to get done quickly before other teams start sniffing around and we miss our opportunity. We need to go straight in and get these done. That's what we need to do this season. No more of this. You go out and then we'll bring in. It's we're bring in and then you can piss off.
Yeah,
agreed. And also for these cheaper signings, like Brian just said, and as well as Sean said, these 10 to 15 million pound ones, just get them done. Get the De Vrij one done. Get maybe if the Kostic one can be done ahead of time, just get those ones done right away. Yeah. And I feel like those cheaper ones, especially. But the bottom Duda, like I said, and I'll say again, you need to figure out which ones are better for the cheaper ones, which ones are better for the more expensive ones. It's definitely a great talking point. It's a great topic. But we've definitely blazed through really good questions in this show, but had some really good debates that we spent a bit of time on. So we are going to do the world's fastest kind of extra time towards the end here, everybody. And this is the first one here. On which night were more Man City tears shed? Spurs 2019 quarterfinal in 2019 or last night?
Wow. Such a good
David,
question.
You're smiling. I feel like you know your answer, Dave. I feel like you know your answer. I don't know my answer, to be honest.
Which night were more Man City tears shed? Spurs 20. Oh. Do you know what I'm going to say? The one
I bet last night, the storm drains for flooding, Dave. The storm drains for flooding.
Yeah,
gotta be last night. They were 90 seconds away from the final.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, last night, I suppose. Yeah, you're right. They were a minute away from reaching the final, and then Madrid a double, and then last night. Look, that one would have hurt. I'm sure they had that idiot, one of them brothers, the Gallagher brothers, one of them idiots on Blue Moon on repeat, But in the end, they ended up going and crying into the pillow and going to mommy, going, "Why always us?" Love it.
Daigle, do you think more were shed last night?
Oh, definitely last night. You got to look at it now. Pep Guardiola is looking like he's been there 7 years now, and it's the one trophy they want, and he just can't get it. Whether it be a quarter-final with us, a semi-final, the final last season, he spent over £1 billion, and he still can't get the job done. And like I said, they were 90 seconds away. 90 seconds away. So do you know what? Things that people have got to start looking at Guardiola. Yes, he was wonderful at Barcelona. The football he plays is incredible. Don't get me wrong. But the big clubs, the Bayern and Man City, crave the Champions League, and no matter what, he can't do it anymore. He may do it next season, but every year they go in as favourites, and every year they choke.
Yeah.
So you can look at Pep, what he does domestically, he smashes it. There's no doubt about it. But these clubs want the big prize, and he just cannot deliver it anymore.
Yeah. Sean, you agree with everything that's been said last night? That's the most Man City tears ever shed.
Yeah, I do. And I don't know whether what does Pep Guardiola go from here? Like he's how many years has he had? How many years has he had? And he's failed. He's failed time and time again at the one thing he can't do. Like I'd be surprised if he gets a contract renewal.
Well, look at it, Sean. I think
he might be out soon.
I think it's a decade now, because I think he's been at City 7 years. He was at Bayern 3 years.
Yeah. Barcelona. Did he win anything at Barcelona?
Yeah, he did win it with Barca.
Yeah,
he did. He
hasn't won it at Bayern or City, and that's a decade.
That was like Daigle was saying, 2 clubs, earlier and almost over 10 years ago, and he's been in some pretty big situations to which he's found a way to bottle it up. This one was on my mind today. David's favorite person's hair, but is it in fact overrated? And is even the whole Harry Kane hair spiel itself even overrated? Because I must say, Sean, in my eyes, the most recent haircut he has received is not good. I don't like it. I think the barber did a horrible job. And I must say, I think the Harry Kane hair, sort of mantra is getting a bit overrated, at this stage. I think we need to talk about someone else's hair. Do we need to be talking about someone else's hair in the squad? Is the Harry Kane
I'll give you a clue.
Harry.
I'll give you a clue, right? Like when you start to have to go all the way back to halfway down your head to find where your widow's peak finishes, which is a pain that I'm going through, you have 2 options. One of them is to pull it all forward. The other is to wear a hat. The one option you don't do is to ask the barber to slice lines through it to make it more accentuated. His hair is massively overrated. His hair is way overrated.
I have to say, though,
Great answer.
I have to say in Davies' defence, I have to say, when it comes to haircuts, I had a massive theory with my dad, which was proven right. You look at Benoit Assou-Ekotto, whenever he had his hair in braids, he played superb. Whenever he let it all out in an afro, he was absolutely fucking woeful.
Aerodynamics. That's aerodynamics. That's different. That's different.
Yeah, but it was like, so you know what? I started the haircut theory I identified that with Benoit. Obviously, Kane is obviously a much higher elite, and David knows a lot more about the hair. But there is
Ryan, he shaves lines into his widow's peak.
It's like when Aaron Lennon shaved the splits in his eyebrows. I was like, what the fuck are you doing?
That's different. That's culture.
No, it's like
Harry Kane asked the barber to can you just shave a proper line so that everyone knows exactly how balding I am getting?
He doesn't do David Beckham, and you forgot the fourth option, Sean, when your hair gets like that, is you shave it off like me.
Oh yeah. That's the other option. I'm there soon. I'm there with you soon, man.
So yeah, I mean, obviously, David always talks about his haircut, and he's had a haircut. He's gonna have a great game. I'm telling you now. Anyone go look at Benoit Assou-Ekotto. Whenever he had his hair in braids, he played well. Whenever it was in a big afro, he was horrific. Not saying it's a genuine thing, but there's certain things like that. Football players are very, very superstitious. Look at Paul Ince, who had never put his shirt on until he walked out, and there's loads of other things. Maybe it's his superstition. Who knows? Who knows?
That was a hilarious answer, Dave. It's finally time to give you a bit of time to respond. Probably this question is could even get me fired. Maybe to a degree, but Dave, how do you respond to this?
You're fired. No, I'm only messing. No, look. First of all, Jack, we will have a fallout. I can't believe this question snuck in there. Sean, we're going to have a falling out because the way you answered it. Daigle actually kind of took my side of it, so we're good. Look, it all came about because I used to look at Harry Kane's hair and I knew whether he'd have a good game or not when I was doing the watch along with Matty Hayes. I'm going to have to start bringing it back now that lockdown is done and over with. But look, for me, Jack, look, I mean, it's all about the strength in the strand of hair, you know, the length, the volume to it, the color. You know, there's more to the hair game, Jack, than just simply looking at the widow's peak, as Sean likes to call it. There's a lot more to it. I mean, you know, it's blossoming right now, especially out in that spring sunshine, Jack, you know, running around or whatever it is. I'm not sure what it is now. I don't care. It's one of them. But, you know, just running around and the sun bouncing off it, seeing it just perfect, like a little bit of flappy in the wind. I mean, Jack, his hair game is absolutely phenomenal. Whether it's matted back straight down on his head, whether it's combed back, combed sideways, whether he's got a line in it or whether he doesn't, it's always good. And at the end of the day, Jack, all that matters is as long as Harry Kane feels good, that's all that matters. Because once Harry Kane feels good, Tottenham are good. So that's all that matters. I agree with you. I'm not the biggest fan of his new haircut. I thought, look, I'll be honest with you, it looks like someone that tried to cut off their own hair out of some sort of rage out or something. It doesn't look great. But look, Jack, maybe his barber was on holidays, or maybe, who knows? He might have had to quarantine. But when he's back, you watch. He'll have a good hair. He'll have that slick for this weekend. Beautiful. Look, I don't have a problem with it. Harry's wife doesn't have a problem with it, and that's all that matters to Harry.
You don't know that last part, Dave. You don't know. Maybe she has, no, she doesn't. Requesting,
I'm good friends with the
maybe she has been requesting a quick visit, back to, the one that was on vacation. Maybe she did say, you know what, Harry, too much of a risk. This is why I have to wait for the barber to get back from vacation. But I would say, Dave, very, positive answer. Body positivity, brought up there. If he feels good, if he feels like he's looking good,
Jack,
that's what all that counts. Love that, Dave. Great answer, I must say. Hold it out.
I'm not sure that's the case around the world anymore after what's happened this week in the politics, but let's not change the subject too much.
Jeez. The bottom two is saying we criticize Conte for a poor run in the Champions League, but give him £1 billion and 7 years at Spurs, and he will win us the Champions League. Oh, love it. Absolutely love it. And honestly, I have no worries about him in the Champions League. I really don't. I don't really feel like there are I don't know. There is definitely maybe a bit of cause for concern. At the same time, though, he did make it to that Europa League final with that Inter Milan squad. Did end up losing to a team that just wins the Europa League for fun. So I don't really think there was much of, a big red flag there. But I would say give him the money that he wants, given the team that he wants. Certainly would give us a better chance of winning it than maybe any other manager would at this stage in time. I would say to bottom two that's available.
No, I absolutely love that super chat. Look, first of all, he won't need 7 years. And second of all, he won't need £1 billion. He'll do it. He'll do it in half time. Conte makes players. He turns players' careers around. We've seen that at Tottenham. He can coach players. It will not be £1 billion. If it was £1 billion, he'd probably deliver it every 2 seasons.
Dark Sun G saying, I think there is something with haircuts. That overrated Mount, who did decent now, is playing poorly after cutting his hair, but that's great for us. LOL.
I mean, exactly. If we're going to talk haircuts, can we not talk about Mason Mount? It's ridiculous. Jordan Pickford's, it's ridiculous. I mean, there's a lot more haircuts to be pulling out of the Premier League than Harry Kane's, Jack. Should be ashamed.
I don't know, Dark Sun G. Maybe it does play a huge part, in their form, the haircut. Maybe Eric Lamela, if he actually changed his hair, might have actually turned to meet the potential that we all wanted him to if he had gotten rid of, that haircut. You just need to change things up, maybe, if you're trying to change up the form. And if the form is going well, don't change anything at all, it seems like, Dark Sun G. But I must say my answer still is Dark Sun G. It's overrated, my man. It's overrated. But Moondog, Window or Widow's Peak, more like Daffy Duck's Peak.
I like that one. Moondog. Pick yourself up, man. I love that. I don't even know what to say to it. Just leave it there in all of its glory and the humor.
It's like a Kuba comment. It's like a Kuba comment.
It is. It's like a Kuba comment. Big up, Moondog. That's quality. You gave me a good giggle. But look, Jack, we better go through these last couple of extra time questions because we promised.
I think, that was a good one to finish on. That was a good controversial one to finish on. We'll, move on just two this time because we want everybody to watch the Champions League. And we also just want to give people a bit of time to plug the channel, especially the man that is freshly above 1,000. Sean, what are they going to be finding over there, my man?
Yeah, guys, thank you, everyone, again. I will send out my own little message so I won't spoil everyone's finish here. But thanks to everyone who's supported me. It's been great. And on my channel, you can find essentially two different types of content. One is most mornings I take my dog for a walk and I take my camera out and I show off the countryside around where I live and talk about whatever.
All sorts of dark places around there, lad.
Yeah, there's lots of dark places. There's more unique places to come. I'm going to be going into woods and forests and fun fairs and all sorts of weird shit. So, yeah, and Bugsy protects me. So shout out to Bugsy for being responsible for the vast majority of the channel growth. But yeah, so I take all that shit. I just talk about Tottenham, whatever's going on in the news of the day. I get things off my chest, and then like 3 times a week, hopefully, usually a little bit less than that, but I want to get it up to 3 times a week. I will just be doing panel shows like this where just talk about whatever the topics are, whatever the questions are, and I'm the host, so I don't get to give my opinion so much, but I try to let everybody else from around the community have their chance to voice their opinions on the show. But it's always good fun, and I'm sure most of you have already after today. If you haven't, I'd love you to subscribe. Spurs Talk Show, where you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And big up the Flat Cap Army, the Harris Army, the Irish Hotspur Army, the Jack Kanicki Army, everyone, and obviously the Brian Daigle Army. I love you guys all. You're part of the family, and it's been a wonderful 5 months for me since I found you guys. I didn't even know. Back in December or November, I had no idea. That there was even an online community, and I just stumbled across it. And then this was, it's been a wild 5 months, and I've fallen in love with all of you. So thanks for having me on your evening.
Look, Sean, I'm sure speak for me, all the other content creators, and the Harris Army and the Flat Cap Army and the Irish Hotspur Army out there. You've been a very, very great addition to the community. So thank you, my man. Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks, mate. Love you guys.
Breath of fresh air and a worthwhile, very, very lovely addition, especially over here, especially with the Harris Army, I must say. But Brian, what can we find at Tottenham on tour?
Right now, I know Brian Ireland's filming a Liverpool preview with a Liverpool fan, so that'll be coming out, I think, today or tomorrow. Nice. And then I know next Tuesday we've got our pod with Al's Life from Shelfside Spurs. But there's going to be a lot of content coming up, and you'll see me a lot. And then obviously you'll catch me on We Are Tottenham TV, either going batshit crazy or very, very happy. I hope you all see me very, very happy. But there is always a chance of me going batshit crazy. Let's face it. If the day ends in Y, there is a chance that I could be going batshit crazy. But yeah, you can find me, Danny Kiriakou, Adam Clark, and Brian Ireland, of course, at Tottenham on Tour. But most of all, congratulations to Shawnee Boy and his 1,000. I'm pissed off he got it today, because if he did it on our channel, he had to do a crazy thing, and now he hasn't done it. He's got out of it. But yeah, I'm delighted. He started off as my nemesis, but now he's a brother, so it's always good to see him.
I love.
Since it went up to 1,000, after it got to 1,000, it got to 1,001, and it dropped down to 999 again. And now it's back to 1,000. So someone's out there playing silly beggars.
Bob
said it was. We knew
that you said he's going to unsubscribe.
I love you, Brian.
Love you too, brother.
Do get over and check out Tottenham Talk. Great channel. I would like to see some updates in terms of like Brian's mood that day, like a weather update. That's what I want to see. Big up, everybody. Do get over there and check out Tottenham on Tour. Me and myself and Jack do make an appearance over there from time to time as well. So get over there and check it out if you already don't know who Brian is. But Jack, last but not least, where can people find you, my man, and what's coming up?
I'll just do this quickly. Everybody head on over to the Flat Cap, especially. I know there are plenty of scout reports that definitely people have missed. Sometimes people in the comments will say, check out this guy. And, sometimes it's actually already up on the channel. So I would say do check out the playlists. I've organized all of the scout reports into neat little playlists of all the positions that Spurs should look for players in. So do check that out. And as well, also, I think we're going to be continuing to do these kind of weekly sort of kind of live shows with Darius that are all kind of related to Spurs or even just European football in general. So just stick around, everybody. Lots of good stuff happening.
Big up. Everybody do get over there and check it out. Transfer window coming up. Any players you want to know what they're like, that's the place to go. So, guys, smash that subscribe, smash that alarm bell, and get over there. Brian, we're going to have to keep you warming up just for another couple of minutes, my man. Just another minute or
No
two.
worries.
Dark Sung G says, do you think we will cancel contracts in the summer? I'll be honest. I mean, if Endom Lardass comes back, I would look to cancel his contract if he doesn't find a move out. Same as Harry. Well, there won't happen to Harry Winks because he's brown-nosed Tottenham boy, isn't he? So he'll probably still stick around. But look, I wouldn't be against it. Players that just don't deserve to be here, I would, my man. I would look. We've done it to Serge Aurier. Why not do it again? Big up, Dark Sun G. Dan Coy says, great stream tonight. Bring on Saturday. Come on, you Spurs. Well, look, guys, in terms of here, there'll be stats with Jack tomorrow, so make sure you get tuned in for that, for all the stats and tactics you need building into the game. Then Saturday, join us for the pre-match building up to that massive game at Anfield and the watch-along as well. All happening Saturday. So big up, Dan. Really appreciate that. Everybody, like we said, we would love to see the chat one day and everyone have that badge beside their name. That'd be absolutely awesome. So why not grab a membership on your way out? I want Dark Sun G also says, also before next season, try to add Cutie and Kulu for the intro. Don't worry, I'll be all over it next season, my man. I'll have an absolute unbelievable intro. Look, I'm a very, very creative guy off screen. I come up with a lot of crazy shit. Don't worry, we'll have a killer intro for you next season, Dark Sun G. Big yourself up, brother. Absolutely love that. And don't worry, we'll get it done. But look, guys, there you have it. Another great show. I've really enjoyed today. Great views. Absolutely love it. Good numbers. I want to say a massive thank you to you guys out there for tuning in. You make all these channels. Don't ever forget that. So I appreciate every single one of you. And don't believe me, I pinch myself every day and know how lucky I am, especially because you guys support the channel so loyally as well with the super chat. You have no idea how much it really does help us over here at the Irish Hotspur. It's a massive help to any Spurs content creator. So I really, really do appreciate it. A massive thank you to Jack for putting this together today. A massive thank you to Sean and Brian for coming on and creating the panel along with me. Really do appreciate it, boys. Everybody, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. Once this is finished, if you think we're talking crazy, let me know in the comments. If you think we're speaking facts, let me know in the comments. Just get your comments in and just let us know what your thoughts are. As you can see, very, very good lately, responding to every single comment. So get them in. And guys, look, I believe I've done a bit of digging. I believe that super thanks you can only do after the show ends or something like that. So someone please do it. I want to see what happens. We'll absolutely love it. So have a check out. Get that super thanks. I want to see what happens. But as always, come on, you Spurs. In content we trust. There you go.
And as always, Levy out.
See you all back here tomorrow for Stats with Jack.
Levy out.
Spurs. Conte we trust.
Levy out.
There we go.